Hello viewers, Super GT here. Welcome back to another video on Horizon 4. So there's been a rather large update. So of course we've got Mitsubishi back in the game, which is a very nice addition. Good to see them back. We also have free-for-all racing. Probably not the best terminology, because it might suggest that we have to kind of go all out like a WWE Royal Rumble. Wait a second, that's not a Mitsubishi. Okay, it's alright. It is a Mitsubishi. Right, I joined the lobby. Now this guy on the map, you might be able to see him. He wants a piece of the Super GT action. He's after a nice big ram. So I lure him into a tunnel. Get through the tunnel. And yep, he's still after me. He wants a piece of the action for sure. So get to the end of the tunnel, whip it around, go down the other tunnel. Test his patience. Is he still following me? We get to the other end of the tunnel. And yes he is. He's still there. He still definitely wants a piece of my action. So we get to the other end of the tunnel, and he's tried to preempt me here. He's gone into the other side. Oh, that's clever. Then I'm going to turn around because he's turned around already. In anticipation, got one over him. It's like escaping the butler on Tomb Raider, and I've finally done it. I've escaped my rammer, but will I be able to escape him now that we enter the first race?
Shut up, clock in and load up.
Okay, free-for-all mode, here we go. I don't even know what car that guy was driving, but I just have to get away from everyone. So of course, no team racing in free-for-all. I mean, that's the whole point of it. Which, for me, I think this should turn out to be better. You never know, though. Of course, in the team mode, I think some people sort of, they see someone on the other team and think, right, let's just kill that person, they're on the other team. You get this sort of mentality, you get this sort of tribal mentality, but then again, in free-for-all, it might just be the same. It might just be the same, well, I'm fighting for myself, therefore everyone is my enemy, rather than just people on the other team. But we'll see. That remains to be seen. We'll see if that happens. As we're actually pulling away quite nicely here in the Evo, so Mitsubishi, as we've said, being added back into the game. Good to see. And at this point here, running away quite nicely out in the front. So of course it really helps to be at the front of the pack, of course. You can just escape everyone, get away from the trouble. The only real enemy, you know, is yourself. And I just drive into a massive ditch underneath this road. So obviously overshooting, having to rewind, but that doesn't really help. Just puts me kind of back into the exact same situation. Someone actually joined me there temporarily. Maybe felt a bit sorry for me. After about 2 millennia, I get back onto the road, and I'm down way down the order at this point. Try to go past 2 people, and we just get the job done. Salvage some points. So of course it's not like before where it's blue versus red. You have a championship score here, which so every event contributes towards that final score. So I joined too late to really compete for that one, but we can compete from the beginning in this one here. Now I'm going to skip forward a little bit. I was in 4th position, okay, not too bad, but then I just wasn't really looking where I was going. I completely misjudged this turn and missed the checkpoint. I have to go back, and it doesn't really save me much time, losing loads of time. In the end though, made a nice recovery back to 4th with 2nd immediately ahead of us. So a big fight here. This is the free-for-all mode I was expecting, with plenty of contact. Can we find a way through past the other Corvette? So a generation battle between Corvettes here up the inside. Got the job done, and we're going to complete the race in 2nd position, albeit 13 or nearly 14 seconds away from the leader. So we move to our first free roam rush here. Now I know that you should always go to the motorway when you see this free roam rush, but sometimes there is someone there to block your path.
And his name is John Cena!
Okay, so he might have obliterated me off of the face of the earth, but his intro's given me some inspiration there. Never give up. And it's very true in motorsport or in any racing. Never give up. You still have to claw back as many positions as you can, and I get third. Ultimately, I still get third. The motorway definitely proving to be quick. My reward for such endeavours is to watch this guy do a shoddy moonwalk. Thank you very much. So anyway, moving on to the third event of 5. So let's see if we can make our way through this pack in the Corvette. The Corvette 09, really enjoying this car. For S1 road racing, this thing is an absolute beauty. There's a Ford RS200 there, and he's going to go flying across. He missed a checkpoint as well. He's going to go way down the order. I've got a little bit deep here. Testing the off-road prowess of the Corvette, not a car known for its off-roading capabilities, but then again, this is Horizon, so any car can do it, to an extent at least. So we're going to try to make our way back up the order here. In third, so a decent start. Looking at the inside, yes, on this up the inside of the traffic, and smashing all the fences down in Scotland in the process. So just like a previous video, we are creating employment. The fencing companies of Edinburgh more than happy to carry out repairs in the morning. So up the hill, strong fight here. The BMW not really carrying too much speed through the turns and kind of just blocking the pair of us off. The Porsche and myself really want to get by. And the BMW, his own victim here, falls into the back of the traffic car and leaves it into a two-way battle between myself and the Porsche now, coming down the hill on the other side of the mountain. I've claimed the lead, but it's not going to be a big lead at this point here. Less than 2 tenths, as we can see on the top right-hand side of the screen. It's a beauty, you know. This game has time. This game has gaps based on time, which motorsport doesn't have for some reason. But coming down here, it's really close, and some respect shown between the pair of us. A little bit of contact there, but he's through into the lead with barely 10% of the race left to go. Is there going to be an opportunity to reclaim our position and therefore the race lead? He goes a little bit deep into the final turn. I'm up the inside, and I give him the salute with the Windows XP sound. And actually, Super GT winning, that's actually crashed my entire Xbox. There we go, Super GT in first place. Now that is an error, if I ever saw one. Okay, so next race, or free roam rush this time again. So event number 4 of 5. So we take the shortcut across the road here, and we've just come in behind these couple of guys here. I do need to beat that guy in the Porsche. It seems to be between myself and him for the lead of the championship. Now coming across this roundabout, he just gets obliterated by a tree, and I get, I would say lucky, but I actually know the right line through there. Yeah, I'm so good at cutting roundabouts. And eventually we claim the race win, or the free roam rush win. And you can see here, it's neck and neck, 70 points apiece, going into the final race, 5 of 5. Here we go, away from the line, and taking a nice racing line through the first turn. We avoid the carnage, we avoid the chaos, and we can pull away now with the freedom of Edinburgh to take the lines that we like without having to worry about getting slammed into from behind. So we're okay. Where is our rival? Our rival Rash, he's way down in 10th at this point. So it really is advantage Super GT. The Corvette absolutely flying. This thing, it does slide a little bit. It does kick out its rear end if you get on the throttle a little bit too keenly. But with a little bit of management, it should be able to get around the turns just fine, especially on power. Just moderate that throttle a small amount, and you're golden. You can see here, really caressing the car through the turns, and it's just handling like a dream. And at this point here, this is really my race to throw away. So the main thing here really is that being in the lead and not having anyone directly right behind you, you can just focus on your lines, take the lines you need to take, not worry about if anyone's going to lunge up the inside from 2 gazillion miles back. You don't have to worry about that. You can just take all the lines you need. It really is a big advantage just to not have anyone right with you, and we can pull away from the group. It really is crucial as well. If you're on the front of the grid, just get away, really make the most of the start, and make the big gap as early as possible, and then just be nice and clinical from there to the end. So we're pulling away quite nicely, and giving them the what's the matter scared salute on the chat, making sure they know about Super GT winning this one. Let's go around the final turn, just avoiding the van, and there's not going to be any funny games or tricks here. It's just going to be a clinical victory as we come across the line to seal first place, not only in the race but also in the championship, as you can see there. So interestingly, it's two things, like championship points and gaps based on time. Two things that Forza Motorsport doesn't have, but Horizon does. Quite interesting. I know that in the career mode, or sorry, the single player on Forza 7, you do get the series points, but there's no such thing as championship points in an online perspective, which is quite unusual. You'd think that a motorsport game would have that. Championship points is a very sort of basic motorsport principle, as is gaps based on time, but that's the way it is. So once again, going back to the Mitsubishi here. So of course Mitsubishi with plenty of off-roading pedigree, or rally pedigree if you like, and using that to my advantage the best I can here. Let's come down the hill. So a dirt race on offer for us here. So dirt obviously in between kind of cross-country and road racing. So cross-country, you really do need to be using the trucks, the big ground clearance trucks like the Ram, etc. In dirt, it can be a mix. So you can see a lot of quick people in cars, such as the Mitsubishi, the Subaru, that kind of thing. But also the vans, not the vans, or sometimes vans, but the trucks and the Jeeps kind of do well in dirt, as we can see here. So up into fourth with a Jurassic Park Jeep just ahead of us, and what looks like the VW Bug up in second. So this is where I can get the hammer down in the Mitsubishi Evo, and he comes across there. I'm going to go across the grass as we cross the line. So I just claim third there as we cross the line. Up the inside of the VW on the way out, he's had a poor run. Now what I would say is that the quality of the racing hasn't been too bad. Just of course there's been some ramming and that kind of thing. I think that's always going to be the case. But on the whole, my experience of the free-for-all was that it wasn't too bad, and I much prefer it. I think on the team aspect, it's a fair idea having the team, but I think the free-for-all, just racing for yourself without having to worry about anyone else. I think this mode is a little bit better. Not that it mattered too much anyway in the team, because it's not like you only got a little bit more influence if you won compared to not winning. It didn't really make too much of a difference anyway. But still, I think this mode was long awaited. I think a lot of people are calling out for that. So you see there the time gaps. So you know how far away you are from the person ahead and behind based on seconds, which is how it works in motorsport. In actual motorsport, not on Forza motorsport, but it does on Horizon, weirdly. So I got that gap down to actually below 2 seconds at one point, but then that guy ahead, it was up to 8, and then I caught it up. I caught him up down to less than 2, and then he just turned the heat up to max, and he just pulled away right away. And in trying to keep up, I just made that stupid mistake there and surrender what was looking like an easy second down to third now. So I'm going to have to fight to get the second place back into the hairpin. Mr. Jurassic Park goes a little bit deep, and we can reclaim the position on the way out and ultimately finish in that second position. So an okay race there. We can see some more of the pedigree here of the Mitsubishi Evo. So with some of these free roam rushes, I kind of know the best routes, and I think I've got it here. So looking at the map, there's actually we're in a neck and neck race here, but you're always going to have the advantage if you're on the road. And ultimately, yes, I win out. On the road, you can go a little quicker. You don't have to avoid trees for days. So we get through with a victory there. So the Evo here proves to be very good indeed. Now this is kind of more what I'd expect from the free roam. Sorry, not the free roam rush, the free-for-all mode. This is where things get really close, and sometimes you just can't escape from the group. Sometimes it almost feels as though everyone's car is almost the same. So when everyone tunes their car up to the maximum within the class, so here for example A class 800 PI, everyone's car is just almost the same. You just can't escape from anyone, and it just becomes one massive cluster. It's like a horde of locusts just swarming around the circuit. You can't get away from each other, and sometimes it just really feel like that. So you do have to be quite creative with the way that you drive, such as that. slamming into the Bentley on the way out of that turn. He comes back for a revenge hit. I mean, fair play. I get away from him. I get away from that group here in 7th, trying to catch the big group at the front, all 6 players at the front, within 1.6 seconds of each other. And there's a deterrent, looks like, to wall riding, so I go head over heels, complete the flip, but lose a lot of time, and go down to 11th out of 12. Not a good result, as we try to reclaim some sort of pride before the end of the race. Coming up towards the final turn, and we get past the Mercedes, and we're going to finish 9th, ultimately at the end of the race, and 9th being a variant of 6. But there we go, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the free-for-all mode on the Mitsubishi Return, and that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I shall see you next time. Goodbye.
Safe to do so. Recalculating route.